Hey gamers, Foxfires here, bringing you an update on ArcheAge. The next major patch, 2.5 Bloodsong, will be released at the end of January, and with it comes a new dungeon, new house upgrades, mount armor, lunagems, balanced arenas, and a lot more. First up, the new 5-man dungeon, Mistsong. This dungeon is in Mistmarrow and will have an easy and normal difficulty mode at the 2.5 release. A hard mode will be added later. Outside the dungeon is a workbench for crafting the new mount upgrades. This anima system allows you to craft upgrades for the base elk, snow lion, leomorph, and horse mounts. The dungeon is modeled after a Japanese-style pleasure garden, and is a pocket dimension created by Arya, the unborn child of Nema and Kyrios. Angry at the lack of respect shown to Nema upon her death, Arya transforms this garden into a sanctuary for lost women throughout history. But this place is also a trap, luring in victims and siphoning energy from their souls to sustain the garden. Be careful when you're traveling through this dungeon. Traveling outside the intended zone areas results in a nasty debuff, and additionally there are traps and poisonous water to beware of. There are 3 bosses, each dropping roughly Ethereum level gear. The bosses can also drop one of 8 new lunagems, whose quality is increased based upon the difficulty selected. In addition to the main dungeon questline, there are 3 new daily quests here as well. The first boss in the questline, Dejul, drops leather armor. Sojang, probably a Medusa-like woman, drops plate, and Arya is the final boss who drops cloth. She appears in a ghostly form and will be playing her Bloodsong music. Banners behind her depict runes that match runes on the floor, which players will need to be aware of in order to coordinate their movement, to gain buffs, or avoid negative effects. The entire dungeon is meant to have more complex fights, heavy on player versus environment. Celestrata said, "Good luck, hope you like DDR." Briefly, up next, the event schedule is being modified to better accommodate the player base. A third Mistmarrow is being added later in the day, and the second Mistmarrow timing is now set to end before Abyssal Attack and Luskus, so that there won't be a time conflict. This change was requested by the players all the way back in 1.7, and it's taken a while, but the scheduling issue is finally being addressed. Karkasse Ridgelands will now cycle half and half between war and conflict to create more PvP-oriented fights over Red Dragon. Pirates will go to prison for 40 minutes if they're killed there. Red Dragon now spawns based on a timer on Wednesday and Saturday, and will despawn after 12 hours if he's not engaged. His health regen is also increased. The bone chip system here is being done away with, so after the patch, the chips will be venerable or possibly salvageable for Starlight Archeum. Os Mana Towers will appear in each of the claimable Aurora zones and spawn every 3 hours. Defeating these will grant quest rewards from the corresponding quests and is said to create interesting power struggles in these zones. There is a new buildable statue in the Heroes Hall for each faction. Heroes must build the statue for the first stage. Everyone in the faction works to build the statue for the second stage, and the heroes will finish building the statue for the third stage. Completing the statue grants a 3-day buff if you're online when it's completed, or if you're not online, you can pray to the statue when you log in order to receive the buff. There are new Sunken treasures, and you can find vaultstone shards and shipwrecks to combine in order to complete vault stones for 35 labor. Opening the vault stone grants decor items, which will also vendor for a range of gold up to 100 plus gold. This adds a new game mechanic to obtain gold for those seeking variety, or for those who don't like running packs, etc. Coming with 2.5, there will be new thatched farmhouse upgrades. The biggest improvement to me is the one for the mining thatched farmhouse. Currently the mining drill is harvestable every hour for a few stone and ore, but many players aren't able to harvest it that many times in a given day, so they don't get comparatively much. With the 2.5 Bloodsong Patch, the new mining drill will be able to collect mats over time, up to approximately 6 hours. This change makes the house much more feasible to harvest. The animal pen in the rancher's farmhouse will now be able to proc to glossy for an increased yield. And the harvester's farmhouse will now have a new kind of harvestable vegetation on the roof. To round out the housing updates for 2.5, there will be 3 types of tree houses available. One will be for Gildastars, one will expectedly be for merit badges, and there will also be a third weaker type from the cash shop. Except for the Marketplace treehouse, these houses will have harvestable limbs, with a chance for the limbs to be thunderstruck. There will also be Eastern and Western style walls and fences available for the various house types, including the thatched farmhouses. These look pretty cool, so I'm interested in these. I really like the housing and the housing upgrade stuff. There are also new Harani-style private workbenches, and last for the houses is a Harani-style mansion for 1,000 Gilda stars. Going hand in hand with the mount upgrade anima system, the Guild Prestige shop will offer armor upgrades for the base mount types, for only 100 prestige. Note, however, this is not available for the Yada mounts. In addition to the mount armor for Guild Prestige, there is a new mount, the Cloud Striker Panther, available for 2,000 prestige. It has Vicious Bite, Overrun, Cloud Strike Dash, Electric Dash, and an immunity ability at the end. Related to this, in 2.5, you will be able to have both a mount and a combat pet out at the same time. They will have 2 separate toolbars that you'll be able to control them with, and it looks like this could make for some interesting new pairings. A few final tidbits: the Folio is being rearranged for better organization, and items that are crafted at specific workbenches will be able to be viewed from the Folio. Character transfer options are in the works. Discussions are ongoing for which servers should be eligible for transfers and what the cooldown should be for them. Ship regrades will cost 10 gold, down from 15 gold. Then the ship regrades will align more closely to the pet regrade mechanics, making it easier to reach Celestial, but harder to go beyond Celestial. A new pack refresh purchase will include an item allowing users to summon their warehouse from anywhere, much like the permanent mailbox. Next week, Trion's ArcheAge livestream will cover Part 2 of the 2.5 patch release. This will include details about the PvP skirmish and sparring fair and balanced arenas, a myriad of ability changes, and changes to the sieging, so stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching, gamers. I'm Foxfires, and this has been an update on ArcheAge.